What's up guys, this is Chris here, and today we're going to be going over my personal favorite rifle of all time. A rifle that I have tested more than any other rifle, and a company that makes rifles that I've had at least a dozen. Almost all of them I've purchased myself, and the gun that I also use for home defense and self-defense. Now before we get into the video, I do want to mention the sponsor of this video, which is Pard. Hey, it's on! Now, Pard makes these dope-ass thermal scopes, and they also make a lot of other thermal and other electronic sights as well. Now, the only experience I have is with this guy right here. They sent this over for me to test out and review. This is the Pard SA6245 LRF. Yeah, I had to read that. This guy is a pretty impressive scope, but I do, in all fairness, have limited experience on thermal since this is the first one I've actually had in my possession for a long period of time. This thing kicks so much ass. We didn't even mount this right away. The first thing that we did with it, since we moved to a new house 2 months ago and we moved to 55 acres, is my wife and I have literally been taking this out every night and just walking around our land, spotting animals. We see rabbits, we see tons of deer. I saw 14 coyotes up on the hill the other night, and I could hear them howling, but I couldn't see them. But thermal is a freaking superpower. From almost half a mile away, I spotted all of those coyotes relatively quickly. And the cool thing is that it also records. Not only does this record, but it changes different thermal settings. So if you want that cool Call of Duty white and black, you can do that. If you want to look like the Predator, you can do that too. On top of that, it has different reticle options, and it can zoom in or out depending on what you're looking for. It has a external battery compartment right here, so you can switch batteries really easy. And then it comes with a mount, so you can mount it co-witness, or I do have a riser on this, which did help out a lot. Now, if you want to hook this up to your phone, you can. If you want to put an SD card in it, you can do that as well. And then you can show off all your cool footage that you got from your thermal, especially on hog hunt. Compared to a lot of thermal scopes, it's sort of middle of the road at $37.99. But it's reliable, it's durable. We've beat it up already, and we've taken it out shooting not only in the cold, but we also took it out in the rain to test that on a Smith & Wesson Sport, and the thing functioned flawlessly. Overall, I couldn't have asked for a better experience. The eye relief is good, the digital reticles are cool, and looking through thermal is worth the price of admission in and of itself. And we would like to thank the other sponsor of this video, the Sonoran Desert Institute. If you want to get an education in anything firearms related, they are a university that specializes in firearms education. Please go down and check out the Sonoran Desert Institute. Now, this is a Bravo Company 14.5. Bravo Company is a rifle manufacturer known for making absolutely excellent rifles that you don't have to pay an arm and a leg for. These rifles are made in Wisconsin, a neighboring state to Iowa, which I really appreciate. They're really close, and I really like the people who work there. I first got introduced to Bravo Company from Travis Haley, believe it or not, in the old Magpul days, over almost a decade ago or even more. Larry Vickers is another person who I trust their advice, and they also run Bravo Company. More recently, people that have a lot of experience in firearms like GBRS Group run Bravo Company, and many other people who run rifles for a living choose Bravo Company as their rifle. Now, they choose it not just because it's affordable. They can pick any rifle. They have many rifles, including HK416s, SIG MCXs, and they still use Bravo Company. So these guns are not only within a price range that you can afford, but they are above and beyond most of the other rifles on the market, and absolutely top tier quality in my personal opinion. Now, we have tens of thousands of rounds on Bravo Company rifles, and my wife actually said on the way out here, I don't think we've ever had a malfunction. And I honestly don't think we have either. In a stock Bravo Company rifle, I don't think we've ever had a malfunction. So today I wanted to go over my two favorite sizes and maybe the world's best or the perfect AR-15, and I believe it's sort of a mix of these two right here. So let me introduce the one I keep showing you. This is a 14.5 pinned Bravo Company extreme lightweight contoured barrel with a, I believe it's a 13.5-inch M-LOK rail. We'll start at the top and we'll go down. First off, Bravo Company is famous for their barrels. So the 14.5 is a good middle of the road. It's basically as short as you can get while still being a legal rifle, because you have to have it full 16 inches in order to be a rifle, and then you can pin a muzzle brake or a flash hider that you then can put a suppressor on if you want to, or not with the Surefire War Comp. Now, the barrel is lightweight, but it also is very durable. What I mean by that is you can shoot hundreds of rounds through it and it won't deviate in accuracy too much, and it won't be so hot that you can't really use it. Yesterday I took a stock 11.5 Bravo company, this guy right here, and we took it out and we shot it 300 rounds in a row, and we're still capable of very good accuracy even with a red dot out to 275 yards. I like how hard 5.56 hits by comparison, but come here a second. You know what I don't like? The candle of doom burning my truck. Hear that one?
Dang.
Not bad. We'll get to the 11.5 in a minute, but I just wanted to mention the barrel quality. Now, the rail itself is also really quality in my personal opinion. They are very durable, very reliable, even with laser aiming devices, at least that I'm aware of. I've personally never tested that, but in most videos I've seen, nobody's had any problems. The reason for that is the ingenious lockup on the rail system here to the barrel nut. It's kind of a clamp lockup system, and they have an actual, like, it looks like two little toes here that come out on the receiver, so the rail can't spin or deviate in any way, so you lose zero. Now, the M-LOK slots are very durable as well. I've never broke one of those either, and you do have them all the way around. So you can see a lot of companies short you on the M-LOK spaces. The Bravo company rail, you can go all the way around with not only rail covers here, but you can put a vert grip on the bottom, and you could put either a light here, or even on the Picatinny rail, which is full length. Their gas blocks are crazy good. Sometimes I change them to adjustable. Most of the time I just leave them because they're on there so hard, they're very difficult to get off. Which is kind of the sign of a quality rifle, in my opinion, how hard it is to completely disassemble. If it's that hard, it's not going to disassemble itself when you don't want it to. Now, this is their sling mount, which I also really like, and then this is their vert grip, which I use on almost all my rifles. Not only are the rifles good, but the accessories are some of my absolute favorite. We get on here to the Bravo company upper and lower. Those are 70-75 standard grade AR-15, but they are mil spec, and then their bolt carrier groups are literally second to none. Most people buy their upper receivers and their bolt carrier groups and they put them on lower receivers that they already have. If I have any problems with other review rifles, I often just ditch the bolt carrier, put a BCM in it, and voila, I have no problems. I actually did that with a St. Victor that we had lots of problems with. I just switched it out to a higher quality bolt carrier group, and there we go, no issues whatsoever. Now, the triggers are pretty good, and the accessories on them are pretty good. The stock, this, I think it's like the Mod 2 or something. This is my personal favorite stock of all time as well, and you see that on many of my rifles because of just how I like it. I like it because of the cant of the stock, personally. It goes into my shoulder pocket really easy, and I personally don't like stocks canted the other way, like the Magpul shotgun stocks. I prefer them this way. It also gives me a good cheek piece that I can rest my big fat face on, and there's no snag points that catch my beard like maybe a Voltor. Now, going back to the buffer tube and the castle nut, when you buy a BCM, they're going to be state castle nuts and they're not going to fall off, which is another great thing. So this is kind of my personal build here that I put together, whereas this guy right here is a stock BCM 11.5 that I got from them last week, and you can see that all of this is absolutely high quality. Their coating is high quality, their trigger is high quality, their rail system is really high quality, and overall it has an excellent track record of reliability, but an excellent track record of accuracy and shootability. Now, why do I think the 11.5 and the 14.5 are your choice for the perfect rifle? 16 is the normal choice for a perfect rifle because it is the shortest length that you don't have to pin and weld. However, I feel that my personal favorites are the 14.5 and the 11.5. Now, the 14.5 gets me just a short enough barrel to CQB and do all the cool stuff I want to do around barricades, vehicles, and stuff like that, but it doesn't restrict me to any pistol braces or any SBR uses. So I think the 14.5 is kind of best for everybody, as long as you don't ever plan on changing your muzzle device, because you do have to pin and weld these on there. And if you do plan on changing it, or you don't have a favorite, then I would definitely just go the 16. The 16 only adds about an inch at the end of the day, and that's not too big of a deal when you're moving around structures. I just prefer the shortest package. Now the 11.5, if you're going for a shorty, is what I think is the best, because the 11.5 has a little bit more dwell time than the 10.5, so you get a little bit more reliability, and you get a little bit less wear on parts, and you get a little bit more shootability as well. It feels like a smoother gun when you shoot it, especially suppressed, but only for that 1 more inch of barrel length past the gas block here, so it gives you enough dwell time. 11.5 also extends that fragmentation range from around 100 to 150, almost 200 yards, so you get better ballistic capability with an 11.5 over something like a 10.5 as well, which is why I think 11.5 is kind of the sweet spot for most people wanting to run shorty guns. And since this is 2024, you don't need to SBR it if you don't want to. You can run a pistol brace like an SBA 3 or an SBA 4 brace, or whatever this thing is. I forget what this one's called, but it's an SB brace. It's the brand new one. Now, you can SBR them. I have a couple of these that are SBR'd that you're probably seeing footage of right now, because that's also relatively easy to do online these days. And I think that if you were looking for the absolute perfect home defense gun, I think you're looking at it right here. I think you're looking at the 11.5 BCM. 11.5 5.56 does more than enough damage up close to deal with any threats. You get those temporal cavities that a pistol round won't give you, and you can shoot them incredibly fast as well. So if you had 1, 2, 3, 4 assailants that, let's say, did a home invasion on you, and maybe you live in a bad neighborhood, maybe you're a single mom, and maybe you work at a restaurant and you walk home with cash every night, and maybe some guys spotted you and they're gonna do a home invasion. Well, maybe you went online and maybe you got BCM from Wisconsin, and maybe they're gonna regret that because of your ability to shoot these incredibly quickly, even with very little training. Now, that's the thing that I want to talk about with an AR, especially over something like a shotgun or a pistol, is an AR, in my opinion, up close is almost, if just as effective as a shotgun, because of your ability to put multiple rounds downrange, your ability to transition targets, and your ability to do that with very limited recoil. The pounds of recoil on a 5.56 is very low comparison to a shotgun in 12 gauge, for example. So a person like Stephanie, one of the people that used to shoot with us all the time at our old house, she had no training on an AR whatsoever. In less than 15 minutes, we had her hitting multiple shots at 75 yards. Very shootable, very easy to use, especially for women or smaller statured shooters. And I think those people are often the people that need firearms for self-defense the most anyway. Not because they can't handle themselves in a fight. Lots of tough girls out there. Look up Gina Carano or maybe Ronda Rousey. But because those people are often targeted more, because criminals are usually pieces of shit. So what they do is they don't go for a big guy like me. They go for a grandma, or they go for a 115-pound girl, because they think they can take advantage of you. So I would suggest that you pick yourself up something to return the favor. Now, upper receiver groups usually start around $1,000 to $1,200, depending on what you get, and I think that's a solid option. I think if you want to get a cheap lower, you can do that. If you want to save money, you get an arrow, build them out, and put an upper receiver group on it, and you're good to go. Because honestly, with an AR-15, almost everything that matters is in the upper receiver, as long as you have a good mil-spec trigger and you put the lower together correctly. Now, if you want to go all in on the BCM, I would also definitely recommend that. As you see, both of these are. I do prefer to have 100% quality, and with my home defense guns, honestly, I don't build them anymore. I have somebody that knows how to build them. BCM does tons of testing on these, and they are unbelievably reliable. And that's what you want when you want a home defense gun. You want to pick something up and know it's going to work, and you want to pick something up you know you can use well. And a BCM rifle like this is going to work all the time with almost every ammo, with almost every magazine. And not only that, but it's going to be soft shooting, so you can go out and train with and have tons of fun and still be good to go with your home defense gun. That's the downside to shotguns, is they're affordable, but people don't train with them, because training with double-aught buckshot kind of sucks. If you shoot a pump action shotgun 15 to 20 times with double-aught buck and you're not familiar with holding it in, using the push-pull method, it's punishing. So you know what's not punishing is an 11.5 or a 14.5 Bravo Company AR-15, or literally any quality AR-15. I absolutely recommend recommend the Bravo company, but there are tons of options out there if you don't want to go up to the $1,500 price point. You can definitely get guns from Smith, you can definitely get guns from Ruger, or even Springfield that work really well. Even Palmetto State has guns that work great for the money. So overall, I think this is my personal favorite rifle. I've been using them for over a decade to prove that. If you don't like them, that's totally cool, but I think that they're the perfect rifle. And if you really want to get the absolute perfect setup and you only want to buy one gun, go out there and get yourself a 14.5 pinned or a 16-inch rifle, and then buy an 11.5 upper and SBR it, and you are good to go. You could use the 14.5 upper receiver when you want to. You can use the 11.5 upper receiver when you want to on an SBR, and that is almost the exact same kit that most special operators are issued these days. So you're going to be good to go at long range or at short range. And again, if you only want to buy one, probably go with the 11.5 pistol series if you just want it for home defense, and if you want a do-it-all rifle, the 14.5 or the 16 is absolutely excellent. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please help out your Oklahoma shelters, and remember to recycle. I'll check you later.